Hey y'all, welcome to Book Marketing Mania. I'm Kim, a book marketing strategist for Christian authors, and I'm so thrilled you're here to learn how to grow your author platform, market your book on podcast, and steward your message in a way that honors God and your time. So after I aired my episode last week with literary agent Barb Roos on prepping your book proposal to pitch at a writing conference, several of you reached out to ask about finding a list of writing conferences. So sorry, I didn't even think about that, y'all. So I wanted to round up some that I knew of for Christian nonfiction authors and writers and podcasters. And I'll put the complete list with links to the conference pages in the show notes on the blog at kimstewartmarketing.com/78. And I'll also link it here in your podcast player so you can get it to it super easy. So I've listed them in date order because some of them are coming up really soon and some of them have virtual options. And even though some of them aren't happening until the spring of 2024, registration's already open. And sometimes the literary appointments are already open to be scheduled too. So I don't want you to miss anything. And all of these conferences have publishers and literary agents as speakers, and I believe they all have opportunities to schedule 15-minute appointments with them. And if you know of other conferences I missed or have some inside scoop on any of the ones I'm mentioning today, I would love to hear. So be sure to check out the scoop on each conference. See if the timing is right, if the price fits your budget, if the location is somewhere you can travel to if you're going in person, or if they have a virtual option. And be sure to ask your writing friends or in writing communities who has attended this conference before and what they liked or didn't like about it. And of course, pray over your choices and ask God for His direction. Just like each of our books is unique, each of us is unique, and our needs for learning about publishing options, pitching our books, learning from others, it's all unique. And some of us want to attend huge conferences and meet as many people as possible, and some of us prefer smaller, more intimate conferences with lots of hands-on training. So I recommend sign up for the conference email list to get notifications so you'll be the first one to know when registration opens, and especially when those literary appointments open. And you can start saving money now for registration if you want to attend in person. And if they have a Facebook group, I would be sure to join that too, because you can start networking and it's so much fun to meet your online friends in person. Okay, so let's get to the list. So first up, happening right away, is the Northwest Christian Writers Renewal Conference. And that's happening May 19th and 20th in Mill Creek, Washington, just north of Seattle. But they do have a virtual option, so I definitely check that out if you have availability. The other thing too about some of these conferences, it's like, oh no, that's like in 2 days, there's no way I could attend it either way, virtual or in person. But just make a note of the link, and again, it'll be here in your show notes, and check it out, because now when the conference is going on is the best time to really evaluate who the speakers are, what publishers and agents are there, what topics they're speaking on, how long the conference is. You can really evaluate it when it's right now in the thick of things, and you can make a note. Do I want to maybe attend this for next year, and start vetting it and saving your money for it, like I said, and then being the first to hear about it. And then next up is the Blue Ridge Mountains Christian Writers Conference, and that's happening May 28th through June 1st in the mountains in North Carolina. And this one is definitely on my list. I want to go to it in 2024. I keep hearing amazing things about it. And Linda Goldfarb, my friend, is one of the leaders and presenters of the conference. And stay tuned, because she's going to be a guest here on the podcast this fall. And she also hosts Your Best Writing Life podcast, which this is the only conference I know of for sure that has their own podcast. And so she always interviews industry speakers, but a lot of times they're people that are speaking at the conference too. So you can kind of get a little sneak peek of who you might be seeing at the conference. And I know there's many agents that attend and publishers that you can make appointments with. There is not a virtual option at the Blue Ridge Conference. And I know that's probably by design, and so that they can just have the intimacy of being in person. But I do know it's a pretty big conference, so I would definitely put that one on your radar. Next up is the Southern Christian Writers Conference. That's happening June 9th through 10th in Leeds, Alabama, which is in the Birmingham area. And they do have a virtual option, and I did see they have a few agents in attendance. And then right after that is the Right to Publish Conference, and that's June 13th through 16th in Chicago, Illinois. I did not see a virtual option for that, but there may be one that I just didn't see on their website, or again, it may be more exclusive for an in-person conference. And that one is managed by the Christian Writers Institute. And then the next month in July, there's 2 conferences happening at the same time, and they're both really big and have tons of publishers to make appointments with. And the first one I'm going to mention is the She Speaks Conference held by Proverbs 31 Ministries, and that happens in Charlotte, North Carolina. And I have attended, oh my gosh, I think I went like 5 or 6 years in a row, and it was absolutely incredible. There was like 800 women there, all worshiping and learning together. And I know they've changed the conference a little bit. There's a couple of different options for you to attend, but you get to learn directly from Lisa Turkhurst and her Proverbs 31 Ministries team. And they also have the Compel membership that you can check out. I was one of the OG members and small group leaders for that. And it's an amazing writing membership where, again, you can learn from the Proverbs 31 team on how to start writing your book and building your platform and all kinds of things. And if you are a member of Compel, I would definitely look into this conference. Such a great way to meet your fellow Compel members and, get to know them in person as well as online. Now, I do know they have a virtual option that's super popular. A lot of people I saw last year were gathering together in hotel rooms with their girlfriends, and then they were hosting like a satellite option together and watching the conference. And I think that would be so super fun. I need to make a note to do that sometime. And then happening the exact same week is the Speak Up Conference, which is another huge conference, and that's hosted by author Carol Kent, and that happens in Grand Rapids, Michigan, and they do have a virtual option also and have lots of agents and publishers that you can meet with. And I can't remember if I said, but even if you attend a conference virtually, you do get the option to meet with their agents and publishers, so that's super cool. Then happening after those in August is the Advanced Writers and Speakers Association Conference, and that's also known as AWSA, AWSA. That's happening August 4th through the 6th in Lexington, Kentucky, and I did see that there's lots of agents that will be in attendance at that conference too. I did not note if there was a virtual option. I apologize, so you might have to check into that one. Then next up is the combination Colorado and Greater Philly Christian Writers Conferences called Write His Answer. And that is a virtual conference only. And again, it's happening in August, and you can check out all the information, and they do have agents that you can make appointments with. Then next up in September is the Spark Media Podcasting Conference. And y'all had to mention this because I know it's a podcasting conference, right? Misty does bring in agents and publishers that you have an opportunity to meet with. Plus, to boot, you get to meet all these amazing podcasters that you might want to pitch to be a guest on their shows. Just saying, it's such a fun time to go and get together with other podcasters. And if you are hosting a podcast or even thinking about it, I highly, highly, highly recommend you check out this conference. It's September the 28th through the 30th in Houston. I will be there, and I would love to hug your neck. And I don't know yet if there is a virtual option, but I know Misty does have a Spark Media Facebook group that you can join and learn more information about the conference there, and stay tuned for what she has in store for a virtual option. Next up in October, there's 2 conferences. The first one is the Florida Christian Writers Conference happening October 18th through the 22nd in Leesburg, Florida, which is, I believe, near Orlando. And I saw lots of agents and publishers on there. I didn't see a virtual option yet, but it may just be too early since that's happening in October. And that exact same week, there is one on the other coast. It's the West Coast Christian Writers Conference. That's happening October 18th through 20th. In Sacramento, California. And I did see a virtual option for that. And I believe that registration may already be open for October. Then after that, we're moving on into 2024. So you can start making your plans way ahead of time and booking those airlines if you're going to be in person. And the first one is the Asheville Christian Writers Conference. And that happens February 23rd through the 25th in the Blue Ridge Mountains of North Carolina. Oh, doesn't that sound good, y'all, with summer? Oh my gosh, it's getting to be so hot already here in Texas. Registration opens later this month. I didn't see it open yet, but keep that in mind. Like, that's 9 months out. They're going to go ahead and have registration open for next February. So you could go ahead and register and make your airline tickets and get all set. I did see in person only. I didn't see a virtual option, but I think I did see some agents on their list. Then right after that in March is the Visions Christian Writers Conference at Mount Hermon, which is in the San Jose, California area. And that's happening March 22nd through the 26th of 2024. So you could plan ahead and plan a big spring break trip with your family, maybe. And you could go to the conference and they could be doing other fun things in the San Jose area. That is only in person. They don't have a virtual option. I did see lots of agents on the list to meet with and publishers, and their registration is open, even though it's 10 months out. So again, you could go ahead and make plans to book the conference and book your airfare to get there. And I've heard so many good things about this conference at Mount Hermon from both attendees and presenters. So I highly recommend it, even though I haven't even been there myself. The next 3 conferences I did see happen this year, March 2023. So I'm anticipating they will happen again next spring in 2024, but you could just check them out and get on their list to get some more information. But the first one is the Mid-South Writers Conference, and that happened in March of 2023 in Memphis, Tennessee. And again, I don't see any information on 2024 yet, but I did see that they had agents at the conference. So again, these would be great links for you to pull up now and really vet who was at the conference, who were the speakers, who are the agents. Is that somewhere I want to go next year? Then second up in 2024, maybe, is the Carolina Christian Writers Conference. And that happened in March 2023 in South Carolina. And I don't see anything on 2024 yet, but I did see that they had a lot of agents at the conference. Then I saw there was a Blue Lake Christian Writers Conference. And I think that has to do with the Emerald Coast Christian Writers Association, if you're familiar with that. And that happened in March of 2023 in Alabama. I don't see any information yet for 2024, but I did see that they had lots of agents in attendance. So again, I can't highly recommend. Check out these links that I'll put here in your show notes on the blog. See if these conferences are what you're looking for to learn from or to go meet with agents and publishers. And then again, ask your friends, ask your writing communities for feedback on these so that you know the size of the conference, what they've gotten out of the conference. You can start learning who's speaking at the conference next year and start building relationships so that you can, have friends in person, or even if it's online in a community. I think you will really benefit from doing that and learning and getting to meet agents and publishers. And again, I'm going to put this full list on the blog at kimstewartmarketing.com/78, and I'm going to link it here in your podcast player. And if you know of other conferences I missed, or you have some inside scoop on any of the ones I mentioned, I would love to hear as I too start evaluating where I'm going to be in 2024. And if you need some help with growing your platform or marketing your book on podcast as a host or a guest to show publishers and agents that you are already serving your target readers today, I would love to help. You can book a strategy session at kimstewartmarketing.com/power hour, and I'll put a link here in your player too. Thanks for tuning in today. And as always, I'll be there for you next week to help you market your book one podcast at a time. See you then.